Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, I'm Syifa Fuadatul Kamal and I'm from 4th A in English Education Department of UIN Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. So welcome back again to my video, and exactly this is my last assignment video on this semester. So in this opportunity, I would like to explain you the article summary that I've read before. Totally there are 10 articles. So that I found the connection of each articles, and then I think the main topic of the articles is how to create a good quality of student. So there are 4 points of that article, and the first is about student aspect, and the second is about teachers aspect, and the third is about parents aspect, and the last is about educational system aspect. So let me explain one by one. Okay, check this out. Okay, let me explain about the first aspect, that is about the student aspect. And here is the article that relate or that talk about the student aspect. And the title is The Case for Holding Students Accountable, written by Adam Tyner and Michael J. Pertrilli. And the purpose of this research is to find out how student accountability and student agency might combine for an even more effective approach in the future. So the method that used is by collecting data from several results or data of research that has been carried out by the researchers. As we know that almost all efforts have been done to reform public education, even so oftentimes nothing worked to inform student achievement, because sometimes we forgot that the most important element for maintaining student responsibility is the student's own effort. And the result of this research is the writers finding the main way to holding students accountable on the research. Firstly is to make school so engaging and the student and student-teacher relationship so supportive. Secondly is to recruit and retain talented teachers, to implement high-quality curricula, or to include measure of student engagement in school accountability system. And thirdly is to hold students themselves accountable for their performance by ensuring that their work is tied to real consequences. The next is about the teacher aspects. There are several articles that talk about it. The first is the case for quality homework, written by Janine and Bempechat. The purpose of this article is to find out whether homework can enhance academic success and to find out the way to improve it so that homework becomes the key for success and high quality for students. So the method that used is case study method, and the result of this research are there are several major findings, and the first is the teacher should give a developmentally appropriate homework, meaningful and that promotes self-efficacy and self-regulation in order to help children cultivate positive belief about learning and allowing students to engage in solving problems with real-world relevance. And the second is about the role of parents. And the third is about the low income of parents. Low socioeconomic status is not an impediment to academic achievement when appropriate parental, school, and community support are deployed. And the low-income parents can support their children's learning in various ways, not all of which involve direct assistance with schoolwork. Then the next article of this teacher aspect is about reading teacher preparation program, that is written by Paul von Hippel and Laura Bellows. And the purpose of this article is to improve teacher quality, help focus on the preparation that teachers decide before entering the classroom. And the method that uses quantitative method, that is gather the data of reanalyze prior evaluation of teachers preparation program in several locations. So the result of this research is the problem with ranking programs and value added is not the ranking are based. The problem is that the ranking are almost random, and the teacher preparation program is needed to do good training in purpose to improve the quality of teachers that have a good quality can have meaningful effects on student success, not just on test scores, but also on graduation rates and even job. And the next article of this aspect is a lasting impact. that written by Thomas D. and James Wyckoff, and the purpose is to find out whether the high-stakes teachers' evaluation drives student success and improves student outcomes. So the method that used is quantitative method, and the result of this research is the writer's analysis find that improved teaching was common and that student achievement increased as a result. Besides, all teachers were evaluated by a five-structured classroom observation aligned to the district teaching and learning framework, which define the domain of effective instruction, such as leading well-organized, objective rebellion, checking for student understanding, explaining content clearly, and maximizing instructional time. The next article is Do Smarter Teachers Make Smarter Students? That's written by three researchers. They are Eric Hansek, Mark Pienik, and Simon Widerholt. The purpose of this research is to find out whether differences in the cognitive skills of teachers can help explain the differences in student performance across developed countries or not. And the method of this article is quantitative method. Then the result of this research is teacher cognitive skill across countries are strongly associated with international differences in student performance. And an increase in teacher cognitive skills, one of standard deviation, is associated with an increase in student performance of as much as 15% of a standard deviation in the PISA test. In addition, teachers' wage premium are also highly correlated with student achievement across country. And the next aspect is about parents' aspects, and there are several articles here. The first is How Satisfied Parents with Their Children's School, that written by Albert Cheng and Paul E. Paterson. The purpose of this research is to find out the aspect of school that mostly make parents satisfied and to know how favorably do parents rate their children. So the method that used is quantitative method, and the result of this research is there are several aspects that influence the satisfied of parents. The first is the case of charter school versus other sectors. The second is the case of lowest income versus highest income groups that make the result that despite these differences, but low and high income parents whose children attend charter school are considerably more satisfied than comparable parents at assigned district schools. And then the third is age student, as explained that the writers find that charter school parents of elementary age children are more satisfied with their school than parents whose children are in middle or high school. And the fourth is urban and suburban and rural regions, and the last is racial and ethnic differences. Then the next article is What do parents think of their children's school? Written by Samuel Barrows, Paul E. Paterson, and Martin Orwis. The purpose of this research is to find out how parents' opinions and experience about their children's school, and then to know the parental satisfaction with respect to 5 key school characteristics were based on the previous studies comparing private and public school. Then the reader expects to see clear differences across those two sectors, such as teacher quality, discipline, expectation for achievement, safety, and instruction character and values. And then the method that is quantitative method. So the result of this article are the first is variation in parental satisfaction. On 4 items: school discipline, expectation for student achievement, school building and facilities, and the racial and ethnic diversity among students, the writers find no significant difference in the variation in satisfaction across sectors. The second is variation in the seriousness of problems. The result concerning variation in how parents judge the seriousness of potential problem at their children's school tell consistent stories, such as the private sector is easily the most homogeneous of the 3 sectors. Meanwhile, parents' perception of the seriousness of problem at district school and charter school are equally varied. And then, the third is variation in school-parent communication. When it comes to discussion of children's achievement, the behavior of other students at the school, and even volunteering at school, the writers do not find significant difference across sectors in the degree to which parental perception vary. And the next article is How Family Background Influence Student Achievement, written by Energy Ecolite. And the purpose of this research is to find out whether family background, especially on socioeconomic, give impact to student achievement or not. And the method is experimental. The result of this article is there are 4 family variables that influence student achievement, such as family education, family income, parents' criminal activity, and family structure. The result of quasi-experimental research, as well as common sense, tell us that children who grow up in stable, well-sorted family have significant advantages over their peers who do not, including access to better schools and other educational service. And the last aspect is educational system aspect. There are 2 articles that relate or that talk about educational system. The first is Rise and Shine, written by Jennifer Heissel and Samuel Norris. So the purpose of this article is to know about how school start time affects academic performance and to find out the benefits and the differences between sunrise and school start time among a group of public schools. So the method that used is quantitative method. And then the result of this article is the later school start time increased student achievement on standardized tests in both math and reading. However, the size of those effects varies by student age, with the biggest increase among adolescents in math. And aside from it, because the district school often open different types of school at different times in the morning, the writers create this hypothetical scenario by reassigning average start time in each district based on this pattern, which moves elementary start time 22 minutes earlier, middle school 13 minutes earlier, and high school 44 minutes later. And the last article is An Integrated Approach for Foster Student Success, that written by Robert Balfanz. So the purpose of this research is to find out the impact of an integrated approach to the social, emotional, and academic development of children more important rather than focusing on academics in isolation. So the method that used is quantitative method, and the result of this research is shown that learning is not a cool process of a programmable information processing. It cannot be organized to routinely occur without attention to internal motivation or external factors. It is a hard process influenced by complex and dynamic interaction of biology and environment, social interaction, human feelings and beliefs, and variable psychological and psychological reaction to environmental factors like stress and scarcity. Social and emotional learning programs could accomplish much more by shifting their focus from abstract traits and disposition to specific skills that are observable, close to this classroom, teachable, and linked in straightforward ways to the mission of schools. Maybe that's all from me. Thank you for your nice attention, and I'm sorry for all my mistakes, and hope it useful for you. And last, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.